My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Monster Train 2. We're here in the Dimensional Portal to complete the Extra Roomy Challenge. Win using room cards since your spells and units are less effective. Primary clan is Lunar Coven with the allied clan of the Underlegion, both of them running their exiled leaders. Heart of the Pack gives us the ability to draw an additional card next turn if we play both a card from our primary and allied clans. And then the Mutators, it's free real estate. Rooms cost 0. Add 2 random room cards to your starting deck. It really feels like this challenge's difficulty is going to be entirely dependent on the power level of those rooms. Hoping for some good ones, especially considering the following 2 are permadeath. When a non-champion unit dies, it is purged from your deck, and Arduous Arcana, spells cost +1. I'm honestly not super looking forward to this one, to be frank with you. Oh, 2 more random rooms in the base deck. But we'll see how we do. Oh, come on. You gave me Imprisoned Zephyr. Friendly units advance on strike. I don't even have the clan that can take advantage of that. What are you doing? And then Mushy Room. Apply SAP 3 to the enemy units in the end of combat. All right. 2 Meddlers, Summon Phase, Ability Moon Phase. There's 2 Infectories as well. Spawn 1 when an when a unit without troop dies. And then Prickly Puffball. On Revenge, apply 5 decay to the attacker. I'm gonna have to try and keep in mind that I can purge units from my deck if I want to by actively choosing to let them die. Unstable Pyre Sparks. Train stewards gain the boom ability. Sacrifice themselves to deal 50 damage to the front enemy unit. I don't need that. Frankly, that's a bit much. Equipment being good is probably important in this challenge. Deepwood Oil, equipped units gain armor 10. On Slay, permanently gain Conduit 1, gives 2 additional damage to Arduin every Slay. And then there's also Hierophant, but it's an incant trigger, so it wants me to cast a lot of spells, but spells cost more for me. Applies armor 2 to friendly units, silent units gain double the amount. I would love to run Hierophant Arduin at some point. I've never gotten that from the start, I don't think. Obviously can't do it here though. Battleborn, and we'll move on. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up having to restart this challenge. Oh boy. I don't feel well equipped. That said, we are on Covenant rank 1, so maybe we can be a little poorly equipped and that'll be okay. Oh, hang on. If they're just gonna have a big frontliner, it's more important that I set up Arduin at the very top. So Mushy Room, apply SAP 3 to units at the end of combat, so I want to do that the floor before they get up here. Infectory, the ability to troop, that should be on the top floor, and then Spore Touch just to start some damage on you. Deeply annoyingly here, I can't do anything about that collector. Drop an Infectory on the bottom line. I could throw 2 Meddlers down there. Realistically, it's more important I just get a Spear Steward on this line. You go down by almost enough? You go down to 21. So as long as I Moon Ritual the next line, I'll have the ability to slay you. Thankfully, the Fallen Champion will die on the top floor without a problem. Spore Touch down here. So now I'm permanently going to remove the Shield Steward from the deck, then the Shield Steward and the Spear Steward. My suspicion is that by the time Puffball would die, oh my god, it's dealt enough decay to prevent itself from dying, which just happens to be the case by 1 health here. Sadly, we didn't get the Slay with Ardun. Oh wow, Silver Ink. Apply Attuned and +3 magic power to spells in your hand. Not really relevant to any of my spells, unfortunately. It's a very rare thing, but I can't really utilize it, unfortunately, at all. Phase Blessing, restore 5 health, healing of max health, applies armor instead. I really like that. Nice defensive card. Infectory, I don't need another room. Spawning Pods, Gooey Flask. I suppose out of these I take Gooey Flask. Spawning Pods to be able to have a floor with Troop is pretty relevant as well, though. Take it. Merchant of Steel, Lunar Coven versus Merchant of Magic Under Legion. Next area is Merchant of Steel Under Legion. Do I want to go with double Under Legion? Feels like Under Legion's a little more happy to see units die, which is not really the vibe. With the 2 meddlers in the base deck, they are really, really vulnerable, but if I had the ability to utilize their phasing for some additional power, that'd be really useful. I mean, Merchant of Arms obviously offers us the ability to put a room in the opening hand, but also to buy rooms, so maybe I even go Merchant of Steel, Lunar Coven, then to the Merchant of Arms. Let's give that a go, because I really want rooms that do something, and currently, the only thing my rooms do is suck. Selene Acolyte. Good morning. 2 Ember, 2 Size, Mage Blade, 2. On Full Moon, Sweep. So this on Ardun's floor is power. Astrologer also gains +5 damage on Moon Cycle, which is nice. But I think Selene Acolyte and getting quick and multi-strike on you is a great path. I'll give you multi-strike to start with here. I think Titanite on Prickly Puffball makes a lot of sense. Try and keep it alive and in the deck. Start a battle end, unit appear on each floor. So if I just put Prickly Puffball with Titanite on the very top, we should be comfortable against that. I can't let Selene Acolyte die. But she's very weak, so how do I do that? I'm doing with Selene Acolyte behind. Prickly Puffball takes out top. And then Infectory bottom line. If I put Infectory on top, unfortunately, it prevents any of these Forsaken from dying to the next line, which they need to. But the Infectory on the bottom line is really important. It's going to start getting some defense. I should probably start gaining Moon Ritual down here. Oh no, but then we don't sweep, so we don't even take out the backliner. Which means the backliner takes Spore. And then we do that. So I can still kill it. Collector. Can't get it. Can't do anything about that, unfortunately. I think I've got to get Mushy Room there instead. -6 on the next floor, -4 for a round, and then it takes lethal damage, so I can let you go up to the top. I do think spawning pods on the bottom line makes a lot of sense as well. Helps protect our HP a lot better. Even gives us the full slays on the bottom line, that's relevant. Now here's the thing, if this bottom line does not kill, Red Moon, I don't. I'm gonna need sweep on full moon, so I'll put you off phase and then you'll have sweep next turn. And I'll get a meddler ready to fix you next turn as well, actually, because it phased on entry. Yeah, I need to be able to project my damage back to the lurking mystery in the back line. And then also win the fight. Oh boy. Can I? Well, as it currently stands, the answer is no. Is there any combination of my cards that can do that? Gosh, we get so close there. 20 health off. It's definitely the health units that need to be defended. See, if we're sweeping on the first round, then it's effectively the same as adding decay to the backline instead. Like, if I decayed that unit instead, it doesn't really change anything about this. Adding decay to Elebore the wall doesn't do anything because decay just decreases over time. This is really unfortunate, but I suspect this is actually gonna end our run. Immediately losing Selene Acolyte after upgrading it, having only a Prickly Puffball and an Ardun to go forward with. I can look at the next options if I make it there. Well. Yeah, the quality of these rooms, not great. Having 2 Invectories in the base deck, huge. Great, very great, huge, lovely, nice. Just definitely also no zero costing one of the only zero cost rooms in a clan combination that cannot take advantage of it whatsoever. This one is completely fine, but realistically what we need is power, not defense. Moonlit Glaive, hilarious. I mean, I'll take it, but 2 Ember to give 5 damage, and then Mage Blade 3 to a unit. Loam Coat! Woo! Loam Coat's very good for Prickly Puffball if we manage to continue going. Alright, Merchant of Arms, blow me away. Mitosis Cap, create a permanent copy of this unit. Cannot be equipped to champion or cardless units. Do you think there's any play in taking Mitosis Cap? strapping it to the prickly puffball. I can't also merge it. If I could merge it with the loam coat and then strap it in the prickly puffball, get another prickly puffball, do it again. Maybe there'd be something there. Well, I'll give it a look in. I mean, a quick weapon's also pretty good for Arduin, I think. Heal Pyre to full health and gain Divine Shard. I've never seen this event before. In all its mystery, the rail leads you to a cavern with glowing shards broken off from a much larger crystal. You sense a small sliver of Last Divinity's magic within these fragments, still brimming with power long after its death. The pyre lights aflame, hungry to take on the power of these divine shards as its own. Which divine shard do you take for your pyre? Heal my pyre to full health and gain a divine shard for 25 additional health, or reduce the pyre to 1 health, gain unstable shard. 1 health on pyre, and I have +5/+12 for all of my units. You hear a terrible rumble, the pyre quakes, it is done. And then it's really sad that I took that. Well, at least now I know not to do that in the future. To be clear, I do strongly suspect we are extremely dead and it does not matter. I mean, one code him. Get rid of the meddler from the deck. What am I going to use that for? Mushy Room on the top line means I'll send Savage Spearman up to the pyre with no damage. If this all starts working, I'll be pretty proud about it, but I'll also be very deeply confused. Thank you for intending to rectify our party positioning after this Archeon. Much appreciated. Give some conduit to the fungi so that it starts to propagate that with Loam Coat. It looks like we're making it out of this one after all. Alright, I mean, look, if I put a prickly puffball on every line, maybe it's enough. Decay equal to 5 times sap. I don't sap units super heavily. Racking Pain and Duality. Duality with Attuned is pretty good on our Conduit floor, despite the fact that it's fine Conduit, not incredible, but that'll still be good enough. Amorous Inoki. On Rally, apply 1 regen and 1 additional health to friendly units. I do like that. I think I think I should have like a puffball on each floor. I think squad leader makes sense. I don't want to have to end my turns in New Moon for the sake of the Shade Guard. Amorous Inoki, obviously, just being on a floor that already has Infectory is obviously just sick as hell. Realistically, we do have a problem in the Prickly Puffball. If I want to rely on you to deal my damage, I need you to be at the front of the party. And if I can't put you ahead of the troop stack, it becomes really difficult to justify that. Trample's a fun guy, and then also additional damage per stack, as well as one size, I think. Squad leader. I think energy is the obvious choice here. The ability to play 2 of the cards that cost 2 on the same turn is pretty important. Upgrading spells. I mean, this is also a equipment or room card, which could be relevant. Not many of our spells really want upgrades, is the problem. But that Pyre Remains is pretty important as well. Holdover, -2 cost consume. It's going to be really difficult to argue that any of these are worth holdover. -2 cost and consume, just throwing that on, like, Spore Touch. It's fine, just get it out of the deck, basically. Okay, that's something we can work with. Grow Room. All units propagate 1 at the end of the turn. Battleborn the 2. Perhaps I should have removed a card from the deck there. Non-boss enemy units restore 150 rather health if they move up a floor. The problem with that is primarily that the Fallen Execution is just fully heal every floor. If you get to the top line and get sapped, how bad is that for me? You end up doing 6 damage before you end up dying, and that's assuming you have no decay on you. Money's going to be really important is the thing. And now that I've got the additional health from the Heart of the Pact, I'm much more willing to try and take risks. So this bottom line, I'm going to want to have Propagate on. Should I also throw the squad leader down there? I suspect so. So Infectory would be the way to make the troops down there. Then Loamcoat would want to go on the troop. But in the interim, I think it'll have to go on the Prickly Puffball. I also really like all units propagate 1 at the end of the turn here, though. I think I made a mistake in the setup, because if I... Or maybe in the drafting of the deck, because Propagate both wants to go on the floor that makes troops, but also Infectory is the card that makes the troops in the first place. Now everyone has a conduit to propagate at the end of this turn. And then we'll have to throw in Factory on the next floor. Throw in Prison Zephyr and then Mushy Room on the very top. Nice. Moonlit Glaive is available for Ardun, and that is gonna do it. Gives us our slays. I don't think I need another copy of the squad leader. Do I want another copy of Prickly Puffball now? Maybe not yet, I don't think, actually. I think perhaps we're a bit better served by waiting until we can upgrade it again. Merchant of Trinkets with a Herzl's Horde / Larder, fact by it, and then Merchant of Steel. Oh, it's against the Merchant of Arms with an Empyrean Well. Replace Infactory with Infactory in case it helps. Phase Blessing for 36 health allows us to overheal and get some armor. And this should definitely be more than enough for the bottom line as well. Perfect. I don't think I want an additional copy of any of these units. Get him. Do I even have silent units? I have shroom units, and Fey units. No. Glittering Draft, restore 20 health and apply Conduit 4 to units, or Duality, copy 2. Duality, admittedly, gets so much damage that it'll be worth it. Cheery Death Cap on summon, apply decay 7 to enemy units. I quite like that. Inhale to deal 10 damage on Slay Spawn 2, also pretty good. Cheery Death Cap's a little bit of a problem just because if I summon it and then it dies, it gets purged out of the deck, so we'll take Inhale, a spell that creates minions instead. Merchant Trinkets here is totally appropriate. Start a turn, fully heal champions? Sure. Because the other one, again, is not relevant, because I don't have the cards for it. On deployment phase, draw a room card from your deck, reduces cost 0. Thanks. Twisting Mycelium. On turn start, spawn 1 on each floor for each 20 cards in your deck. That, deployment phase, draw 10 cards, sure. On deployment phase, draw a room card from your deck, reduces cost 0. I mean, that's just draw a card early and set it up. Still kind of worth it here. Shroud Spike for eating morsel units, not relevant at all. Lunar Coven, some conduit, okay. And Spike of the League. I don't understand how that would work here. When a non-champion unit dies, it is purged from your deck. Does that mean that if a unit has Reanimate, it gets killed? Because it considers that as having died for Slay and Harvest and a bunch of other things. Does it consider it for the purge effects? I really wish on-death triggers were clarified a lot more in this game. For exactly the reason that I don't know if that's the case, I can't click that button. Coven Spike. Start a battle, enemy units are in each floor. Completely fine, that's what the Prickly Puffballs are for. Oh no, the fungi has too much health. Well, at least I'm not taking that much damage because of it. Take 6? I can take 6. Allows me to inhale on the bottom line and hit the fungi. I did not think that the fungi base unit would be affected by the +5/+12 from Unstable Shard, but it makes them a lot more survivable at low stat counts. Mushy Room is exactly the thing we send to the top. There we go, now we can kill both of them because the fungi is enough for the admin shield bearer, and then Udton can take down the Blightbound Guardian. Take this opportunity just to throw additional cards out of the deck by consuming them. Looks like I'll probably end up losing that copy of Puffball from the top line, but it's okay. Not too fussed about that. I could use Mitosis Scab to try and prevent that from happening to the top line. Said I'm not sure if I do want to prevent that. Because the puffballs are just all getting moved behind the shrooms constantly. I'll figure it out. Blightbound Guardian does no damage to our pyre, so we don't even acknowledge it. Take all the additional HP, couple more. Phases of the moon, we should be okay to go. Oh boy, Bradley Puffball's currently dying on the bottom line. What can I do to stop that? Literally one conduit was enough? Nice. Well, looks like we're going to be getting a third Prickly Puffball by the end of this. I guess I'm now much more comfortable with letting them die. Moonlit Glaive, as the other spells have been hilariously weakened. Moonlit Glaive for Mage Blade 3, for our Conduit floor, that's just a lot of damage. I'd probably strap that to the Swift Steel Dagger. Truffles! Oh boy, Truffles. 1 Ember, 1 size, ability of Fetch. Gain more equipment. The thing is, I do have a lot of equipment. Mulch, consume to draw an additional card next turn. For every 15 cards in your deck, draw an additional card as well. So that's 3 for 1. There's also Mushroom Cloud, consume to sacrifice a fungi, deal 10 damage, and apply 10 decay to enemy units. Considering I have a fungi on every floor, every turn, That feels like an easy take. I do like Merchant of Steel, and I really like the idea of actually getting another upgrade on Prickly Puffball that I'd be pretty happy to have, and then propagating it through the deck more, but I also think that Merchant of Arms is fundamentally how I get stronger. Lunacycle. Stoic Plate Mail and Steward's Quarters. Well, I think no. I think I get my damage from Mage Blade, and I don't want to have to Mooncycle that much. Stoic Plate Mail silences units' abilities that I care about, and Steward's Quarters is for Stewards, and I've literally removed those from the deck, so I'll take a quick reroll. Zone of Silence! Yes, thank you! I would love to silence enemy units. Deployment phase? Probably not relevant to have that in the deployment phase just yet. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe I don't take that just yet. Another Swiftsteel Dagger happily, and then I will join... I want to join Mitosis and Loamcoat, but realistically, I'm not going to constantly want that. And that'll also prevent me from being able to equip that to a cardless unit, so specifically to the troop stacks. It's beyond time that I remove some of the absolute worst defenders from the deck. Empyrean Well to allow us to dupe something. I suspect another piece of the duped Mage Blade equipment, maybe. See how it goes. A puffball for each floor. Everyone's entitled to a puffball. Thankfully, there's ways for me now to spawn troops that aren't just in factory, so I can try and put Grow Room maybe on the bottom line. That said, this turn it's definitely Mage Blade and Quick for Ardun to be able to slay, and then it's just the Holy Cherub by itself trying to deal. No reason not to put an Infector on each of these lines at the moment. I think it's a really good time to remove the Meddler from my deck, just allowing it to get cycled out that way. I suspect more impactful than having Infectory on this floor is having a Zone of Silence. Not allowing them to ever really eat a Cherub, I think it's going to have an impact. Get him. Prevent that Cherub from buffing Kale. I do really like Grow Room. think I can get away without it, so that I can keep my silence up. Right, it only silences non-boss units. Briefly did forget about that. You have another unit to wear the Mage Blade. Finally, we get rid of the Spear Steward. One big old attuned gets us there with just our quick attackers on the next line as well. On the bottom line, rather. I think it's time for a nice big long inhale and delete a unit. I don't have many more turns to propagate on the bottom line, but also the silence is not really doing anything more, so I'm going to imprison Zephyr and then replace that immediately with Grow Room. And then give Conduit to the final unit on the floor that doesn't have Conduit, so that I propagate and gain 4 Conduit next turn, which with Mage Blade is... with 5 Mage Blade is 20 additional damage. Just gonna keep the Prickly Pop Ball healthy. Because they don't really do damage unless they're at the front of the line, I don't think there's any real good reason for me to have more than 3 copies of Prickly Pop Ball in the deck at the moment. And that's also considering the fact that they aren't even in the front line at the moment. Alright. Nice, Ardun got the sleigh. What a spell here. Base, create an ephemeral copy of spell in your hand. There's not that many spells I want to create an additional copy of. In fact, there's not any. Unearthed treasure, draw a random spell from your discard pile, from your consume pile, rather, that isn't unearthed treasure. There's 5 or more cards in there, draw another. I'm gonna take the money. Those are just cards I'd end up having to remove. I do feel like energy allows me to pay for the ridiculous costs of everything. But a lot of them are 0 cost as well, so I do need to draw them earlier. Merchant of Steel versus Merchant of Magic. I think it's long past time that I go to Steel and look for another upgrade for a Prickly Pop Ball. Hell, maybe it's even too late. That said, I still don't have spells that are really worth upgrading, so... Dualism. Not bad. It's especially good for the... I'll give 20 health to another one of you as well. 14 damage to a squad leader, why not? Endless, no. Multi-strike for the squad leader? Yes, because you inherit damage. Conduit. Sure. The dualism's especially relevant because Loam Coat, when given to a unit, will now also trigger dualism, so it'll have gain regen 2. I don't think propagate is something you can hit with dualism, unfortunately. It's hit with double stack, not dualism. Right? Unstable Vortex for another 2 removals. Realistically, it has to be Sport Touch, Sport Touch. Way too expensive. They do nothing. Penitent Pressstone spawned on each floor. So the huge downside here is that I have to bash my way through 200 HP before I can really do anything to the enemies. The bottom line's kind of a killing field because the Rage Wings come out pretty hard and fast. So I end up throwing a Prickly Puffball down there with no real survival. So it's probably the healthy Prickly Puffball that goes on the bottom line. Maybe Zone of Silence down there as well. Then the next line... Okay, I think I have the time to deal with this. Oh wow, Zone of Silence already set up. Sick. Flip up ball for the bottom line. It is Dualism, Ardun, and Squad Leader. Grow Room already set up. Mushy Room for the top line as well. Wow. I can just immediately merge my equipment, giving me the ability to slay the frontliner. I've got to get the slays on Ardun, so I'll make you quick first. Then Conduit for unit that doesn't have it. I want to drop a Mitosis Cap if I can avoid it. If I can afford it, rather. I think just throwing that Prickly Puffball on the bottom line would be pretty helpful. It's Chosen of Dominion. Just having an additional copy of this constantly, I think, would actually be really helpful. Which means I'm not going to be able to get the Propagate on this one, so Propagate probably goes on the fun guy, I suppose? There's that Loam Coat. And in the next hand, we draw the final piece of equipment. There we are. The next merge piece of equipment will take you down. I'd love to be able to do something about that collector, unfortunately. I can unsilence it. Actually, I don't need to play that additional piece of equipment this turn, do I? I want to, quite a lot. But I can let it go through the next cycle. Prison Zephyr goes here, then Infectory to replace it, then Duality takes out the backline. I can throw 2 more Moon Rituals to get propagated, and that'll be good enough. Replace Infectory with Infectory again. I need you to be quick. Do I have to give you the merged equipment? I think not. Let's inhale and then Moon Ritual. Draw additional cards next turn. Bottom line was always intended to die here. And the second line will absolutely be able to kill him. Welcome, and good riddance. And here I thought this run actually had no chance. I was pretty good. I make it a rule for myself. Obviously, I'm certain over the course of the channel history, I've not always entirely maintained to this rule. There are exceptions. But I tend to try and make it a rule not to give up on any run. To let it reach its natural conclusion. If it's going to die, let it die. Because the comeback moments, they don't happen if you start allowing a run to go, oh, well, I didn't get what I wanted here, so maybe it's going to start losing. Like, it becomes much easier to continue drawing the line closer and closer and closer to the start of the run until you get your opening relic selection. Then you're like, nope, didn't get the volatile gauge. Let's go again. The old holding R in Binding of Isaac until after you get your first item room. Nope, not going to be starting a run with this one. I don't think I need any of these. And the same again. Do I really like Merchant of Arms that much? I think the additional Pyromanes is still relevant. Fun guy has 2 more damage per stack, draw an additional card, put 25 cards in your deck. I mean, that's just draw relic and make our fun guy more powerful. Piercing does 3 damage. That kills the corrupted units as they ascend. Extra upgrade slots. I really don't think our spells are worth it. After deployment phase, summon a random unit from your deck on each floor. I don't have those. I have no non-banner units, so I don't have any units that can even summon. Like, double stack is some conduit, sure. It's almost no conduit compared to what we already do. Doesn't really help us at all. Permafrost, so I can hold the right card for the right turn. Could be relevant, maybe, but no, none of our spells are that impactful. I'm leaning towards double removal again. I mean, like, Moon Ritual, it's nice to have a copy or 2 of these. Mitosis Cap, you can just be added to anything right now as a just additional pump for additional health for that unit. Let's get the Imprisoned Zephyr out of here. I'm being disappointed in you every single time. For good reason, obviously, because you're not useful at all in this deck. Spawning Pods is pretty expensive, but when I do play it, I'm pretty happy to have played it. I do think Zone of Silence on the bottom floor with just a puffball down there makes a lot of sense, so that I can get all of the corruption dealt with. I'll remove another Moon Ritual, and then final card to get out of the deck is gonna be... Spawning Pods, sure. Satsuri goes on the top line, so I can send them up. One of you with Dualism goes there. Conduit, top line. Dualism mid with us. Dualism mid with us? Conduit mid with us, actually. I'll just take that additional damage on our Dun. Okay, Grow Room, definitely midline. Zone of Silence already hit it. It's on the bottom line, hell yes. Right before I play one of those, though, I should play the Infactory just to get out of the deck, because I'm not going to be playing it again afterwards. Interesting. That still gives the corruption. Curious. I don't want to play that line because it prevents me from playing my merged equipment, but I did want to see who would end up dying. And who would end up gaining corruption if I use Mushroom Cloud on the bottom line. I should absolutely give the multi-striking unit the speed. I otherwise give it to Ardun so that I can gain more Slay, but we're in the final fight. There's the version of the equipment I need to get on Ardun. No space for Infactory anymore. I do want to play out the Mitosis Cap if I can. Moon Ritual for giving a conduit to the fungi so that, again, it can now propagate. And then finally, Coven Spike, just waste it wherever I can. Looks like this one's going okay. Moonlit Glaive and the Loam Coat set up our midline. This is perfect. We'll absolutely be coming out on top here. Let's inhale there. Getting some more troops for that floor. Then Mushroom Cloud. Getting rid of some deformed duo stacks in the backline as well. I want to clear as much of a path as possible to hit Serif directly in the face. Duality, sadly not enough damage for the backline unit there, but next floor it'll be okay. Inhale with 73 damage on it, I think might do enough. Just. We managed to sneak 1,000 damage past the enemies here, straight to Serif. So I think it's pretty much next time I have a blank line and get to hit the Serif, it's dead. Phase Blessing is a lot of armor and health at this point. Yeah, why not? Feel free to take care of that prickly puffball and the mitosis cap that I don't intend on taking any advantage of anymore, because we've already taken way too much. And welcome to your doom. So how much damage are you gaining from your Mage Blade there? Mage Blade, you've got Mage Blade 9? Well, actually, I could just look at your base stats, right? Solid 800 additional damage on that bad boy. The Duality is ready to do 440 damage to someone. Phase Blessing ready to give 91 health and armor. I'm deeply pleasantly surprised by how this worked out. I think so much of this ends up coming down to the influence of the unstable shard from early on. I'm also very glad to be past this challenge now. It's one of the few challenges remaining that still kind of daunts me, where I'm like, I don't know about that. How's that run gonna go? Gritting my teeth the entire time. We'll head to our scene in the Tipsy Inn.
Salutations! My name is Ardun. What do they call you? No, too stiff. Hello, stranger. What brings you to the fight? Oh, no, that's not it either. This is foolish. What's the point in trying to learn how to mingle with hellfolk? This is unnecessary.
Terrible. I'm assuming. Terrible. It's all terrible. I was completely wrong. Terrible! It's all terrible!
Mushroom folk. What's the matter, little one?
Why bother? You'll all just laugh at me like the others did. None of the other clans take me seriously. They won't say they say I won't be useful in combat. All because of my cute face.
You mean to say that you're a warrior?
Yeah, along with my brothers. We're some of the bravest warriors you'll ever meet. We may be small and cute, but that's actually our lethal advantage.
In my years of training warriors, I've learned that one's height or appearance doesn't measure the strength of their spirit.
Whoa, really? You think so? So, you seem to know a thing or two about fighting. Will you be the one to train me?
Train you? I'm not sure. I haven't had experience with your kind before.
Really? Then I can show you around our camp. You can even help train my brothers. There's thousands of us.
Thousands of you?
Yeah. Now come on. I'd be really excited to finally have a teacher.
I don't know why I'm agreeing to this.
Oh, don't worry. If you accidentally step on one of us, we usually go back.
It's purpose you're looking for, Ardun, and that's what's on offer. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top Labs is a series playlist for all my content on the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/Rhapsody Plays. Are above the thank you, and a special thanks this episode to Tristan. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.